Good morning on Tuesday, February 27th. It is episode 361 of the 359 podcast. My name is BVG, and your hosts today are Alfred Ng and Bridget Carey. What's up, guys?
Hey. What's up? We got a real Apple-heavy show today. We have rumors about 3 new lines of iPhone 10s or iPhone Xs, or whatever you want to call them. And, a report came out yesterday, which was confirmed today, that Apple is starting its own healthcare unit or whatever, where they have, but it's only for Apple employees. But, just taking a look into what that is and what that entails.
Mm-hmm.
So hang out, everybody. We are going to record our 4-minute audio podcast, and when we come back, we're going to take your questions and comments in the chat, and we hope they're good. So we'll be back in 3 minutes and 59 seconds from 3, 2...
Welcome to the 359. I'm Alfred Ng.
And I'm Bridget Carey.
Apple is rumored to be dropping 3 new iPhones this year, which I like to call the 3 bears of iPhones. There's going to be the largest iPhone 10, one that's an upgrade to the current model, and then a third cheaper one. So the really big one is going to be the size of the iPhone 8 Plus, but it'll have the screen size, so it'll be like completely there of the iPhone 10. So
edge to edge.
Yeah. So that rounds out to about 6.5 inches. The cheaper one, they're making it cheaper by not giving it like stainless steel on the back. It's supposed to have like an LCD display, aluminum edges, and a glass back. To me, this feels very like unlike Apple, right? Like their major selling point was always like simplicity. Like, here's the iPhone, you'll like it, and if you don't, you have no other choice.
Yeah, but last time it was, here's the new iPhone, $1,000 or more, and now maybe you can still have all the cool inside features that can do all the cool photo tricks, but if you don't care about it being like the best outside material, you have another option. I'll have to see how that works out. I mean, the 5C, I remember that still, and that wasn't too hot.
That was almost gonna be my first iPhone for a while, and then I looked at like the processor and all this stuff. I was like, I don't want to do this, but I do applaud Apple for choosing to go for whatever the cheaper choice is here. If, as our listeners know, I'm like very, very like frugal about this kind of stuff. I'm curious to see how much like the cheaper one will be. Like does the stainless steel back like really cost them that much more?
No, and it's probably going to be the same like starting price as your iPhone 8, you know.
And then just, with that happening, I wonder what that means for the iPhone like 9 line or whatever. If the 10 is supposed to still be this like premium model, like what's gonna happen with are they also gonna come out with like 3 different like iPhone 9s or anything like that?
Stop calling them numbers. We need to go to X. Let's embrace the X, and like you said, let's make it extra large.
Yeah, so like X and like X1. They should have called it that. The rumored name is supposed to be iPhone 10 Plus, which no. If you have an X, just make it extra large. That's just do that.
I'm with you.
So, speaking of Apple and more options, there's a report from CNBC that Apple is launching its own healthcare service. It's called AC Wellness, which they quietly launched a website for in December. Right now, it's only available for Apple employees, and it's expected to launch this spring.
You should say the Apple employees at the headquarters in Cupertino, because they have worldwide like 123,000 employees at stores. Now, this is not for like all the store employees.
Yeah, imagine being like a Genius employee in New York and then like flying all the way out to see your doctor in Cupertino, because that's where the 2 clinics are.
You can FaceTime me.
Oh, God. We'll just check what your pulse is like on your Apple Watch. Just tell us your ID.
They're not the first to like get into the healthcare business. We saw this last month with Amazon working with JP Morgan Chase and the Berkshire Hathaway group going, how can these tech companies go, let's put our smarts together, let's put our money and tech together and find a cheaper way to tackle healthcare for our employees internally. So by having 2 centers, one on the campus and one near the campus, they're able to kind of test the waters here. They're hiring doctors, they're hiring people to create healthy lifestyle environments. But to me, I look at this and go, you just got, there's 12,000 employees on campus. You just got a bunch of test subjects for your next health gadget.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, do you think this is more of like a guinea pig thing where, they're going to be unleashing this on everyone else once it's like, here's what worked with our own staffers and here's what didn't. We're very sorry about that, by the way.
Yeah, I would hate to be the one where a test goes wrong, right?
Yeah. I'm just wondering, like, is this generally going to be our future? Like, I feel like it's not enough that like tech companies know everything about our social lives, our businesses, who we talk to on a day-to-day basis. Now it's like, we also know like your blood pressure level and all this stuff too.
Yeah, it's easy for them to make healthcare cheaper, but right, what about us? Do you need Facebook really poking you? I don't know.
Yeah, so, that's all the time we have for our show today. If you liked what you heard, check us out on CNET. I'm Alfred Ng.
I'm Bridget Carey.
Thanks for listening.
I miss Ben's a cappella version of our end theme.
That was me that did the acapella version.
Oh, it was you?
Yeah, that
I'm
was
always,
me.
my
yeah.
eyes are on the screen and I'm not paying attention who it is, and I just assume that it's Ben.
We both have a very similar singing voice.
I'm curious, what's going to happen with Apple branding at this point?
Apple Heart.
It's frivolous titling as far as the iPhone X Plus XXL S Red. Like, what's coming next down the pipeline?
Pro.
They should just
Pro
follow
edition,
Final
slim.
Fantasy and just go with X2. It's the best thing to do.
If you say so.
Or you could be like Kingdom Heart. I guess I'm on like my Square Enix like
Philosophy of business.
like philosophy right now, where it's like Kingdom Hearts, where it's like 10 and a half birth by dreams or something like that.
All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out and joining us for the recording of today's podcast, which you can subscribe to anywhere you subscribe to podcasts. Let's take some questions from the chat. First up, Srinjoy. First, we had lots of beauty and health products at CES. Very astute. Now Apple Healthcare. Will 2018 start a new branch of health tech?
Well, more like these tech companies probably just want more places to test it and to figure out ways to gather your data more. Because, like, sure,
More places to surface their brand.
right, you have all these gadgets that can measure this and measure that, but how can you make it so it makes sense
Tim
to all
Cook.
the data?
Tim Cook, I feel like at every Apple keynote has always talked about like, hey, check out this Apple Watch that we're coming out with. By the way, I got this letter from somebody that used an Apple Watch that talks about how it like saved their lives by
Saved their lives.
by like detecting that their heartbeat was like off pace, and then we were able to alert somebody in the right time. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm sure everyone uses their Apple Watches for that. Yeah,
And
thanks,
the
Timmy.
iPhone saves my life, and doesn't save lives though when you are texting and walking and fall into a ditch. So
Wait, people use the Apple Watch?
Yeah, apparently it's actually the most sold watch like in the world, like high end wise. Like it like sold out, it like beat out like Rolex in sales, which I know people aren't going out every day and buying Rolexes, but like still the
with all of the stress that my constant checking of my phone has given me, I'm so glad they're looking into my health now to make this circle complete.
Yeah.
they actually have physicians that like check for like your neck damages from like staring down at
Tech
your phone.
neck is real, people. Look up my story on CNET.
Tech neck. That was an experience.
But back to Srinjoy's question, though. Yeah, health tech is definitely like an emerging field. Our reporter Abrar Alhidi has actually been reporting like extensively on that.
Have you seen the things Scott Stein's walking around wearing in the office lately? Because there's always something he's doing to scan his head or whatever
So,
vitals he's got going.
Last week he had a headset kind of thing that's supposed to like reduce your stress levels. I think he's writing a story about it. Have you seen it?
Who's that?
Scott.
There was one thing
I
that's
haven't
supposed to
seen what
help
he's
his
working on
weight.
right now.
There's a
weight
photo.
loss
There's a
thing.
photo of it on Twitter that has been like making the rounds for a bit. I don't want to pull it up right now, but yeah, I mean that's one of those things too, where it's like, hey, But part of me is like concerned though that there's a lot of like tech like snake oil salesman kind of thing. There was the story in the New York Times yesterday called like about digital phenotypes or whatever, which it was like it's these like physicians and psychiatrists that like try to see if you're depressed based on like your social media habits, which is really, really weird. It's like something, you haven't talked to your friends as much as you used to. Like, are you depressed? And then, like,
if anything, you could be healthier by not looking at a screen.
that was one of the counter arguments though. That was basically saying like, no, maybe like I went on a camping trip or something. That's not really. Don't use that as an indicator of how I feel.
I feel like so much of that movie, The Circle, is real.
Let's go back into the chat. Michael Brown says, I think a phone with a 6.5-inch screen is crazy big. I agree with you, Michael. That's too big for my tastes. But since we are here with this 6.5-inch screen, do you think at WWDC we'll see some split screen features? Good question.
I don't think so from Apple. Not from Apple, I don't
no.
think. Yeah.
Maybe they're warming up to that. Maybe we'll see that by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Possibly at their next keynote.
Because if
in
they
software
if
development.
they haven't done it for their iPads, I don't really see them doing it for their phones or anything.
Well,
like
there is some multitasking, isn't there? Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I thought there was some sort of iPad way to multitask, but
I would agree though that 6.5 inches is that's kind of absurd for a phone. Like that's literally like half an inch smaller than like most like mini tablets.
Jeans are not keeping up. Like, I can't fit my phone in my jeans.
I remember when tablets first came out. I saw a dude like on the train using like one of the smaller ones, like a 7-inch one, like as a phone. And I just like kept laughing at like what an idiot he looked like. But now that like there's gonna be a 6.5-inch like phone, it's just I'm the idiot. I'm the idiot.
Well,
man.
well, you're not supposed to put it to your ear if you have AirPods, because that's the solution. People buy more to look cooler.
The question of the day, of course, is coming from, I'm going to try Cerezi. I'm sorry, as always, if I'm mispronouncing your name. Will we ever see any mind-blowing innovations coming from Apple in the near future? Now, isn't that just the ongoing question for the last couple of years? Has Apple actually blown your mind as of late? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say not so much.
My mind has always been blown, not by what Apple has done, but by how much people are willing to buy into it. Like, I think when AirPods first came out, I thought this is ridiculous. These are just Bluetooth headphones. And yeah, my mind has been blown by, me walking around on the train and seeing all these people with it. And it's like, are you kidding me kind of thing.
But you can attribute that to the introduction 10 years ago, not to any current developments in Apple. It's the sheer fact that it got so ingrained in society 10 years ago.
But yeah, even like iPads too. I remember when iPads came out and everyone was making fun of it, just saying like, this is just a big iPhone. And there's like, that's most of the ways that my mind is blown, not by the products themselves, but by like how many people like adopt them.
Well, why is it? I don't know about you, but I feel like Amazon's more interesting lately because they have more motivation to try some crazy stunts.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a different goal than Apple. Apple wants you to buy products. Amazon wants you to buy things that they sell on their website, so it's a different beast, but still, like...
Yeah, they've been throwing a lot of stuff at the wall. I was just thinking about this the other day when I was getting dressed. Do you remember the Amazon look?
Yeah.
Hey, we'll rate, like, how well you're dressed. And I'm like, oh, no one uses that now. So, Amazon is definitely throwing a lot more at the wall because they're trying to establish themselves as more like, we have our own products too. We're not just like a marketplace kind of thing for you to buy like cat food to get here in 2 days.
I think the real innovation is going to be thinking about screens differently, because what does Apple care what I guess content Facebook has? They wanted to deliver things in a product I can buy.
Yeah.
And I think people are hungry for something that isn't so addictive on a phone. So what do they care? I guess what's in it. They can think differently about how we're getting our information.
Andy in the chat says, I think the AirPods are great. I would argue that that's more one of the better up there type innovations that Apple's had in a while, but I still don't think that was groundbreaking. I mean, we've seen wireless headphones before. Maybe Apple accelerated them into the mainstream, the two separated units rather than the connected by cable.
It is right now the highest, or rather I should say that the most popular wireless headphone. It helped it take off. I read some statistic that 80% or so of the money being spent on wireless headphones is going to AirPods.
Yeah, that's also it's the same thing with smartwatches too. Like I'd say like higher than 80% of the money going to smartwatches going to like the Apple smartwatch.
And yet they can't get iTunes right. I would just like a nice easy way to make my phone sync things.
iTunes was right like 8 years ago. It was fantastic.
But yeah, I'm not disparaging anything from like the AirPod itself. I actually think they're like a really nice pair of Bluetooth headphones. The microphone on it is like one of the few that like actually works, even though it doesn't have like the microphone right in front of your face.
Yeah,
like it picks up the audio really well.
I was impressed at the reception on the microphone too. But again, it's not really that innovative.
That's my point.
They're polishing, they're fine tuning. And yeah, that has to happen from time to time, but they have not blown our mind in a while.
Face ID, I will say, did like blow my mind for a little bit, just because like of how much better it is than like any other facial recognition like biometric out there. Like the fact that like it actually does a 3D scan of your face, and like I'm pretty sure they originally put that in for Animoji.
Yeah,
and then I was like, oh wait, like this is also a thing that we can do.
Still astonished that Animoji is such a sell point these days. I like this comment from Gopal. It says, Apple is a stronger lifestyle brand than tech brand.
Lifestyle, now healthcare. Yeah, exactly. It's all aspects of your life.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely an aesthetic more than it is like people that are buying Apple products aren't exactly looking into it as like, I need, like this much RAM and blah, blah, blah. It's more so like they know what they're getting, and it's like a status symbol at this point.
Can they solve problems, or they just wait to do it stylishly,
Yeah, definitely. Style's like a big like selling point for them.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in from Balwinder and MP Cody asking about the potential for the Apple Healthcare to come to the public. Balwinder specifically asks, is Apple testing this on the employees in hopes to roll it out to customers? And MP Cody's wondering if there is any kind of date or potential for this to see public eye.
I think the where it's going is when you have a company like Apple, like Amazon, with all this money, where they can do their own investment of like fixing their own employees' healthcare just to cut down costs internally. You're going to see other companies maybe mimic that model, so it'll affect you if you happen to work at a larger company where they maybe can take those ideas. But I don't think they're going to. I mean, gosh, it can be so weird to like have Apple doctors.
Yeah, I'm also saying, oh my God, an apple a day keeps the
I knew there was
keeps
a
the
joke in
doctor in the office.
There's some joke in there somewhere.
I am interested to see how this will affect, like, if I'm an Apple employee, like, how does this affect my health plan? Like, am I paying less for, like, if you have to pay more for Apple healthcare, which wouldn't surprise me at all. I wonder, like, just essentially, like, would you be allowed to go out of like Apple Care or something like
They
that?
probably have some option,
Yeah.
right? But then again, they really want all those testers for the
Yeah.
next watch. And it'd be so great if you can come by and sign this NDA on this new thing we're trying out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Uh-huh.
not sure if I feel like the end goal would have to be for this to go public, like, like, oh, you can sign up for this now kind of thing. But at the same time, there are so many hoops that they would have to jump through to get this, like, out in the world for everybody that
And yeah, there is another motivation, right?
Yeah.
The motivation isn't to go through more stress to make it for everyone. Look at Amazon. What's their motivation? They got into grocery stores. Maybe they can get into your pharmacy delivery.
yeah.
So there's always another motivation too behind it. Like there's two layers.
Bridget, you were talking earlier about other companies who have kind of gone down this path. Who else has, like maybe in brief detail, have we seen go down the healthcare path?
Well, Google and the Alphabet, lineup. They're trying to tackle some ideas like, oh, how can we stop death? Something. Those really big questions. I don't.
What is this, Star Wars Episode 3?
Yeah, basically. Oh God.
it's not one that the Jedi would tell you.
Yeah.
Have you heard the tale of Dark Plagueis the Wise?
He worked at Google. No. So I don't
I
think.
wouldn't be surprised.
I think this is a new idea though, and I think we have folks like Google thinking, oh, how can we solve weird problems like self-driving cars and health in different spin-offs? And this is Apple,
I am interested to see what like tech they're like talking about implementing in this, just because, and like that's why I'm saying there's going to be a lot of hoops for them to jump through if they try making this public.
I think it's more about saving money on healthcare costs.
Because
Yeah.
like, so anytime I'm at a doctor's, like, and this is like with my dentist and my vet too, where I get very paranoid when I see that all their computers are still running like Windows XP and all this stuff, where I'm like, oh my God, all my information is on here. Somebody's definitely stealing this.
It's one of the big factors. It's too expensive to upgrade for a lot of these companies. Yeah.
Michael Brown's asking, why do you think Apple is so ingrained in the U.S. culture?
How much time do you have?
I got the easy answer. Because U.S. citizens will throw money at silly things. Present company included.
Yeah. I look cool. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think they spend a lot of time on advertising, and they spend a lot more time on like presentation than other companies do. And this goes like all the way back. I think like for a while, like, caring about computers was viewed very much as like this like really like nerdy like thing, like, and then I think Apple has like done like a very good job to like bring it to the forefront as like, oh, literally everybody uses computers. Like this is not like a nerdy thing. And I think they've done like a really good job at like presenting it in like that way.
I hear you there. I like this concept here from Scott Myatt again. Maybe healthcare is a way for Apple to collect user data, as it doesn't gather much user data like the likes of Google. Is this meant to just kind of be a small scale petri dish?
I wouldn't see it that way. I mean, for one, it'd only be their own employees. I don't think they need to collect user data about their own staffers.
But it's a way to test what they want to do
Yeah.
next in like your phone that's coming to you.
Yeah.
And like, all right, we're going to have a new iOS that'll track
But
XYZ.
I would also make the argument that Apple has never really sold itself on like user data or like user information. Like Google does that a lot, and because it's like at its core, it's like an ad company. But Apple has always been more about
the product.
yeah, like these are really good phones. We don't really care about your data. I mean, Amazon like is the same thing as Google, where it's like they're collecting your data because they need it to improve like their sales. But like like even with like Siri, which is able to collect all your voice data, like it doesn't, like it anonymizes it, so it's like they're not really doing anything like with your data.
There's
for
no
its
motivation.
Own. Yeah,
to
exactly.
have all that data
For them,
on
it's
you.
always been more about like their products.
But if they can have an ecosystem where they can maybe do some good and make sure every doctor around the country wants to have the same thing, now suddenly doctors are buying their gadgets, and the third party people who make the things that track your heart and your pulse and blah 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 blah. Suddenly now you have to have an Apple product, right? Because all these doctors you have and outside of Apple all use it.
So we are almost out of time, but let's bury ourselves in speculation first.
Love it.
With the forthcoming tentative iPhone X2 Electric Boogaloo, do we have any inspiration or any indication, that's the right word, about cost and timing, especially for High Terrace and Chunkster in the chat? Chunkster's really wanting to know if he should wait it out, if it's going to be worth the money. I say it's always worth taking a couple extra minutes, taking a step back, doing your homework and research, waiting, because 10 to 1, even if you end up not liking that new model, you get a discount on the old model.
Well, there might not be an old model this year. That was another rumor.
That was another story.
That
so,
like the iPhone 10 that's out right now. I almost said X. The iPhone 10 that's out right now. They may not sell that exact same one for cheaper. Instead, this third or this middle one, because there's 3 of them, right? This middle one will be an upgrade to the 10, and they might just not offer last year's model.
I wrote that rumor.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
So yeah, the idea is that they would be afraid that the current iPhone 10 now would take away from sales from like the one that they're making the upgrade for, because really it's not all that different to begin with. There's nothing on speculation as far as like price or anything like that goes, but I would assume like release date.
It's
like,
this year. The
yeah,
rumor is
it's all
from
supposed to be
Bloomberg.
this year. It will probably be like after Labor Day, when they like around September, whenever they do their big like, here's our new iPhone like event. So, but there's also like the mid-year like release that they usually do around July. That's when they drop the SE in 2016.
Oh, you think they're gonna separate it? No way. I don't think they're gonna separate it.
I've also read a lot of rumors about like an upgraded SE, so it's literally just gonna look the exact same thing, but like the processor is gonna be like up to date.
We got
and it won't
3
rip the-
iPhones in the fall. I think we'll get 3 iPhones in the fall.
We'll probably get 6 if it's like beyond the X line.
At least the SE won't rip the pocket out of your pants. All right, let's talk WWDC real quick to close things out. Josh Boyda, what Nokia smartphones will be coming to the U.S.? Not the 8110.
Yes, but this is actually a story that's on our front page right now. The only phone that's from Nokia that's coming to the U.S. is the Nokia 6. Yeah, you can check it out. Katie Collins has the story on it on our front page. Is literally the Nokia 6. So you're not going to be getting any of their like retro phones for a bit.
From Srinjoy, as bezels are coming down to 0, we need to shuffle our phones to reach top and bottom of the screen. Will these shifts in center of gravity pose a problem?
Actually, I was thinking about this yesterday.
That is a thought that did not occur to me.
I actually think it will, and I think that because like it's gonna be harder to grab your screen, I think the like really annoying phone cases that are barely cases. One is just like a stupid pop socket thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Like that's gonna be really popular, and then the ones that's just like a hook kind of thing. It's like it looks like a bottle like tab opener thing, and it's just like there on the back of your phone, and you put like your thumb through it, and you just hold it that way.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
I do like those. It kind of like I've seen some like a ring. Where you just stick your finger through. Yeah.
I hate all of those, but I also think that because like people are gonna be less inclined to like hold their screens because there's no bezel, like it's probably gonna be like much more popular. Like, because you know what they should do? They should just make the back of the phone like really sticky now, so that you don't have to like really grip on it.
Phone's already gross enough. I don't need them to be sticky too. But I do
just
like
imagine what's going to come out of your pocket.
I do like that idea. That there was that prototype at MWC where the selfie camera, because you can't have one on the front. It just pops up like a toaster. It just peeks out on the top. Hello, and I'll stick back
I actually
on
did
it.
like that just for like privacy purposes. Like, there's not a camera like facing
Always
you
at you.
all the time
that you know of.
Yeah.
I would love to see some kind of like add-on peripheral, so like you have to get a magnetized glove to hold onto your phone, and Apple charges you $80 for it.
Ooh, a new accessory.
Apple glove.
Right. Apple glove.
Dongle glove.
And then all the doctors wear it too.
Oh.
Do I have to charge the glove? Like, do I have to? Like,
Absolutely,
yeah,
of course you would.
Why wouldn't the glove just be the phone? And then you can do this to
Because
call
then you
people.
couldn't. Because then they couldn't charge you extra for it. All right, and the closing's out from James Cook. Hi, Bridget. What do you think about Sony's comeback?
Sony's comeback. Oh, you mean like with
Yeah, Venom
with-
looks sick.
Oh. I guess I haven't been following enough. But yeah, like all I know is about their Aibo dog, and I think that's fun, but it's way too expensive.
Yeah. That was fun, though.
I wouldn't call it a comeback just yet.
Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've been here for years. No, but
And their CEO is leaving, right?
I haven't been following. I don't.
Yeah. I think he might be going soon. So I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, like they announced like 2 new phones at MWC. I don't know how many people are interested in it, to be honest. If you want to let me know why you think it's like a big comeback for them, I think we'll have to wait a bit longer. I think the jury's still out on whether or not this is their major resurgence in the smartphone area.
Fair enough. It's not a comeback, but it's not a comeback either.
Yes.
Okay, that's it. We are out of time. Thanks so much, everybody, and we'll see you all again tomorrow. Alfred, you want to take us out?
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. For these stories and more, check us out on CNET.com. Our podcast is also available on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, FeedBurner, and the Amazon Echo.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
See you.
Bye.